Man, Sigma looks like what would happen if Bruce Willis fucked Ziggy Stardust. Alright, so we get a little bit of story exposition here. Where Zero tells us, you know, don't worry X, I'll run off ahead, let's split up. I'll go in first, and then you can come, like, literally 2 seconds later. So yeah, I gave him a half-second head start, and then I'm off to clear up all the enemies that he apparently just ran past and left for me to take care of. He says, like, I'll go take care, I'll distract the main defenses. I'm like, wait, there's no other defenses, man. And this is really, like, if Zero was a hard ass in the first stage, in this stage, he is a fucking pussy. It is just insane how quickly that character was nerfed. You'll see more on that later, but you know what I'm talking about if you've played the game before. So, this level is actually not that tough. This is the first of the 4 Sigma stages, and you're going to be reintroduced to a couple of characters from the highway stage earlier on in the game. We're going to fight Vile, who is the guy in the robot armor suit, the Gundam. I think he calls it an armored carrier. I can't really remember. I've got my Japanese mechanized suits all mixed up. I've never been much of a connoisseur of that sort of thing. Yeah, and then they'll continue in the traditional Mega Man convention of having you fight every boss in the game again once you get to the final stages. And, you know, that's alright. They make the bosses a little bit easier, not that it would have been tricky anyway, now that you have all the weapons unlocked, but, yeah, it's actually pretty fun to kind of hand them their asses even harder this time. So, yeah, now we are going to get the Vile part of the story. This will be 2 of the whole 3 minutes that he's in the game. So stay back, X, I'll take care of him, and then they run in. And I love this part, because Zero seems so confident. Yeah, I'll take care of him, no problem. And then you hear this. Yeah, so apparently Zero gets one fucking shot off, and then Vile just captures him. This is supposed to be, like, your main guy. You're supposed to be the backup. This is the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the group right here, trapped in this light prison. So Vile threatens us. Zero's still trying to call the shots, even though he's clearly neutered. And this is exactly the same as the time you fight Vile in the highway stage. Basically, you're just supposed to get pummeled until he hits you with the prison thing. So, yeah, basically we're just gonna let him have his way with us. Try to get out of the way a little bit so he can shoot me with his yellow balls. That's what she said? No, that is not what she said. I apologize for that. So now Zero picks, like, the worst possible time to break out of the fucking prison. Like, could you have not done that 10 seconds ago when I was fighting him? And he overloads his power suit, his armored carrier, gets tossed off like a little bitch, and now I'm left to fight Vile, who is actually, for all the build-up and, you know, suspense given to him in this game, is actually one of the easiest bosses of the entire thing. Like, not just of the Sigma stages. He's actually, like, fucking easy compared to even someone like Chill Penguin. You'll see. What you have to make sure, of course, is that you're using the right weapon, and the weapon you want to use here is the homing missiles. So literally you cannot miss, and I'm pretty sure you cannot die unless you came down with, like, cerebral palsy or some kind of palsy in the middle of this boss fight. Like, he's already, like, 3/4 done. Look, one more hit, he's done. So easy. So that's a pretty big disappointment, I guess, considering the fact that he's probably the second most built-up villain over the course of this game, next to Sigma himself, who we have not even seen yet, really, except in that horrible glam rock headshot at the Robot Master Selection screen. So yeah, Zero fucking dies, or just phases out of existence here. All from that one little thing that he did. I can't believe it. I love that vote of confidence he gives you, too. You know, maybe you can destroy Sigma. Like, thanks. And then X takes a literally, like, less than a second grieving period. He's like, fuck that asshole. I'm glad he's dead. I know, this part is actually somewhat tricky. Unless your timing's good. Oh, I got pretty lucky there. That was... Oh, I mean, I had that totally planned out. It was very skillful. This part is a pain in the ass, and what I really should do, and probably will do when I get frustrated, is just switch to like Chameleon Sting or Rolling Shield, which makes you invincible, and just run up, because this is just tedious. It is tedium incarnate, which coincidentally is going to be the name of my my black metal band once I learn how to sing or play any instrument whatsoever, or gain an interest in black metal music in general. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the homing missiles for now. They seem to work okay at taking out these things on the wall anyway. Oh, except for that one. Let's try that again. Alright, fuck that. Let's... One more chance and then we'll switch to Chameleon Sting. Oh, come on. Like, this part, I've never really mastered what to do here. And it's always... you're never at risk of dying because there's so many enemies that are easy to kill. But I've never really gotten a good method for it. As you can see, I'm totally surrounded. I'm just in the middle of this clusterfuck right now. Yeah, let's just use Chameleon Sting to get up here. You really don't use it again in this level, and your weapons recharge between the Sigma levels, so there's no reason not to use it. Particularly since the we don't have that much left in this level, and what is left is not really that difficult. I guess with the exception of the spider that you fight, which is actually quite tough, but yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. Alright, so Boomer Kuwanger, again, luckily Vile only took out maybe 20% of our homing missiles, because we'll need them to kill Boomer Kuwanger, but he goes down a lot easier than he did on the Robot Master stage. Either because, I finally stopped being functionally retarded when I fight him, or because I think they've lowered his health a little bit, is my guess. In any case, he's gonna go down in 2 more hits. Yeah. Nothing to write home about there. This is actually one of the longer stages in the game. I hesitate to say the longest, but it actually might be. We'll see when all the videos are done. I think this one is definitely over 10 minutes. But we're in the home stretch now. This is also a good place to farm for health and energy if you need it, which I might do a little bit of just to get my energy back to full. Why I switched to homing missiles there, I have no idea. It's a total brain fart. So, these guys, I should just be turning and then firing. Alright, so now we're at full health. We can safely move on to the boss, provided I don't get hit here. Which... yep, I do. Twice. Alright, let's farm for some health, hopefully. Oh, an extra life. I'm glad I stopped, actually. Even though I just keep getting pummeled. Alright, fuck it. Let's just go in. Alright, yeah, one more. I really should stop tempting fate, but... Oh, good. It turned out for the best. Alright. I like in Mega Man X how... when you pick up energy and you don't have an item equipped, or a weapon equipped, it will automatically go to the weapon with the least energy in it. That is a definite upgrade over the NES versions. This boss is potentially a pain in the ass. You need some experience in order to fight it. Obviously those bars that join, the horizontal bars that join the vertical columns, demonstrate paths that the spider could take, but really the problem is that as the level goes on, as you damage the spider, it gets faster and faster. So what you want to do is make sure you do not lose any health, if possible. Say easier said than done, right? Do not lose any health. That's the best strategy. But yeah, lose as little health as possible at the early part of the stage, so that you have kind of a buffer zone for the later parts, when you will almost inevitably take damage. And yeah, Shotgun Ice is the best. You can also use just the X-Buster fully charged, preferably to the pink and purple level. But you know, there's no reason not to use Shotgun Ice on this part, because it works the best. Actually, Shotgun Ice comes in handy on a lot of these Sigma stages, which is, you know, funny because it doesn't really come in handy that much during the game. And you just saw the auxiliary benefit there that it can bounce off the walls, so if you miss, you can still sometimes hit it. Which has saved my ass in this game more than once, that's for sure. You really luck out when you have a path where 1/3 of the stage is completely off limits to the spider right from the get-go. I'll see if I can find another example of it. There's been a couple so far in this fight. Or like even one like that is not too bad, even though I got hit. But yeah, like this one is good. If you just go to the far right, he can't possibly get you. Ones where there's more of a connection between the levels are really frustrating. Actually, at this point, I'm not totally confident I'm gonna be able to make it, but fuck. This is probably the hardest boss in the game for me, including the Sigmas. Alright, only one more hit, so I should be able to do this. Yeah, thank God. That was another one where being on the right after a certain point was 100% safe for me. There was literally no chance that the spider could get over there. So after you beat this boss, I wouldn't necessarily say it's all downhill in terms of difficulty, because there are still some tough ones, and some ones that could definitely kill me. Sigma himself actually is pretty difficult, so you know, we'll see how that goes when we get to it. Thank you for watching. There's the password for those of you playing the home version of the game, and I'll see you in the next Sigma stage.